Universe. When it's time, it's time. Man.
That's what it's so. I'll think about it best, yeah. Don't even worry.
I never bet buzz this.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, we'll see it.
All right. It's locked the door because it was locked when I got here.
Children can together for learning activities, gathering up over parents and kids connect, enforces relationships with their peers, really interesting that helps children develop social, emotional, and cognitive skills.
Considering low-income kids tend to lag far behind their wealthier counterparts. During home visits, children are given age-appropriate books, and families are encouraged to establish a daily reading routine. Coordinators also check for developmental issues and connect families with resources if needed. Research shows 90% of a child's brain is developed by the time they are 6 years old. The program works with families from birth until the child enters school. Senior advisor for kindergarten readiness, Tracy Kinney, says kids in rural areas face additional obstacles.
Little or no access to transportation and resources such as libraries and books that can really pull rural children back. Also, geographic isolation and limited engagement with their peers, which is really important by the time you get to school.
England says they have proof the program is successful. During the last school year, children who participated in kindergarten readiness met or exceeded national averages.
With that support, the program, 77% of the participating Arkansas 3-year-olds and 72% of the participating 5-year-olds were at or above the normal range on a nationally recognized range. So we are really boots on the ground.
I'm Frida Ross, Arkansas News Service. Find the trust indicators at publicnewsservice.org.
In a single moment, everything may change. When a player's sudden cardiac event on a national football game to a halt, it shone a spotlight on the importance of CPR readiness. Now, with youth sports in full swing, the American Heart Association is rallying parents and coaches to emergency. To be ready, learn hands-holding CPR. It's a skill anyone can learn in minutes. Visit park.org/hands-only CPR and become a lifesaver today.
Big changes are coming to food stamps and Medicaid. Benefits are being cut. Access is getting harder. Need help? Call 646-494-6403 or go online at benefitrecipients.org. That's 646-494-6403 or benefitrecipients.org. Let's organize now. If you're eligible, these are your friends.
Yes, we coming in hot this morning. We coming in hot this morning with the Lumpin singing Bobby must be set free. They talking about Bobby Seale, and we're going to talk all about that in just a minute. But just want to let you know that you are tuned in to Community Voices right here at KABF 88.3 FM, where we are live in the studio. We are the voice of the people, and you are listening to Community Voices hosted by the Reverend Doctor. You can call me Denise. I want to take a moment to express our gratitude for you being here today, because we realize and we recognize that there are so many other platforms. There are so many podcasts. There are so many stations. There's so many other choices you can make. But for you to choose KABF 88.3 FM, we are grateful, and we are forever grateful, because we would not be here were it not for you. So thank you so much for showing up to us. Also want to greet you in that spirit of Salbona, that spirit of oneness that binds us together by our humanity. And we can't do anything about that. There's nothing that we can do to change the fact that we are bound together by our humanity. But what we can change is how we interact with each other, human to human. So that's always the undercurrent running through our conversations here on Community Voices. It looks like I also need to tell you this. I need to tell you that Community Voices, we center Blackness in the context of the human story. For the past couple of weeks, I've been trying to offer you some examples of what that looks like, because I know that some of you are struggling with what does it mean to center Blackness, particularly in a white world. And so I've offered you up some ideas about how to think about it, how to practice it. And if you still need some more, I'm willing to do that. Let me know. I tell you all the time, I appreciate your feedback. Oh, let me say this too. I know that you all have sent me a mountain of articles, TikToks, documentaries, songs, DVDs. I have them. I have them all. It is my hope to get through them all. And it takes me a minute, because I'm a geek, I'm a nerd. I want to research as much as possible before I come up in here with it. And so please don't think that I am ignoring you. It's just a lot to get through, and I'm making my way through it. So I appreciate how you all keep me you help me keep my pulse on the community's heartbeat, right? And I am appreciative of that. I believe this. Oh, Bureau Chat. Okay. Bureau Chief Pat Ward is in the house. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, I need to make, you have an announcement. I'll make that announcement for you. I'll make it in just a minute. Hotep is in the house, wishing us life, prosperity, and health as always. And I am rolling solo today. I guess you all figured that out because of the song. I guess you figured that out. So I really may be talking out of turn. I may be. But I do know that Tony's Aunt Juanita had to go to the hospital a couple of days ago. And as much as Toney and I do not get along, there are some things that we stand in agreement on. And one of the things that we stand in agreement on is that we're going to take care of our elders. Point blank, period. And so we already know that Toney is busy. He travels a lot for his job. He travels out of the country. He does all of that. And still, he takes care of his Aunt Juanita. So I don't know if he's at the hospital. And if he's not at the hospital, I'm always the one telling him, you need to go sit down somewhere. He goes to that. So I'm hoping that if he's not at the hospital, he's getting some rest. I told him I got this. But those of you who are operating on higher vibrations, and you believe in some form of meditation, you believe in some power of prayer, if you will, if the spirit leads you, send out some energy. Send out some energy. Let me get this. Let me make this announcement for Pat Rogers Ward. I remember seeing it the other day, yesterday. I think. I don't think I have any other announcements. Oh yeah, I do have a couple of announcements, but I'm looking for this one in particular. You just sent it to me. Like, it wasn't a long time ago. Oh, here it is. Okay, here we go. Here is this announcement from Pat Ward. LRSD, the Little Rock School District Federal Programs, Parent and Family Engagement, Partnering for Excellence, Homeschool Community Resources for Families and Students. And this is all free and it's happening April 4th. Today is the 2nd, so 2 days from now would be Saturday. Saturday, April 4th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Henderson Teaching and Learning Center, 401 John Barrow Road. Educational resources, exhibitors, haircuts, no-cost food market. Look, I got to put my glasses on to see the rest of this. This is good stuff. Door prizes, light lunch, and more. It's supported by ESEA, ESSA, the Little Rock School District Title I Parent and Family Engagement. And there are numbers here, 501-447-3358 for K Rainey, 501-447-3358, or call 501-744-9540, 501-744-9540 for Beatrice Varela. Beatrice Varela. I got to learn how to roll my R's. I want to learn how to roll my R's. So let me say that again. That was a lot. The Little Rock School District Federal Programs is hosting resources in partnership with homes and schools and communities for families and students on Saturday, this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And it is free. Show up. Get some stuff for your children, for your people. And if you listen, sometimes people write me and say, hey, they giving away such and such over here from this time to this time. And I say, oh, look, Queen, King, please pick me up one because I can't make it. I can't make it at that time. So whoever is able to go, if you have somebody, or if you can go in somebody's stead, you know that they can't go because they're working, or they can't go because they need to rest, or they can't go because they have children, whatever the case may be, show up and get the resources for them. Because that's what it looks like for us to live as a collective, for us to live in the spirit of Salbona. There's another, I said there was another announcement I wanted to make. I found this one, and I think it is an absolutely wonderful opportunity. Okay, poetry contest for students and young adults worldwide. Poetry contest for students and young adults worldwide, announcing the Pulitzer Center's 9th annual Fighting Words Poetry Contest, open to K through 12 students and young adults 18 to 24 worldwide. The deadline is May 10th, 2026. Participants can take action through their writing by finding local and personal connections to issues in 5 core focus areas. Number 1, climate and environment. Number 2, global health. Number 3, peace and conflict. Number 4, human rights and information and artificial intelligence. Number 4 is human rights. And number 5 is information and artificial intelligence, AI. Poets will choose any news story from the Pulitzer Center website and write a poem of any form, any length, or any language that includes lines from the story in response to its themes and central issue. First place, $300. Second place, $200. Third place, $100. And the finalists will receive $75. And that's for you. They figured somebody's going to ask about the prizes. So now it's due Sunday. It's due Sunday, May 10th by 11:59, but that's Eastern time. So if it's 11:59 Eastern time, what's that our time? Would that be like 10:59? I always have to look this kind of stuff up. I think that would be 10:59 our time. So just get in here early. Just get in here early, and then you won't have to worry about it. I think that this is an excellent opportunity. I know that there are so many young adults out there, so many children gifted and talented in this way with words and passion and expression and movement. Like, put it all on paper any way you want to, and you might have a chance. And with this world, think about that, worldwide, and you get chosen for the excellence that you exhibit. I hope somebody will take advantage of that opportunity, and I will be sure to announce it every chance I get. If I remember, y'all got to help me remember. So, okay. I chose this, I don't remember how many weeks ago it was, but I was talking about France Fanon. Some people call him Fanon. And the wretched of the earth. And Black Skin, White Masks. Those were two books that came up in the video that I showed that day. And someone called in, one of the callers called in and said that he was surprised that, because Tony mentioned that he wasn't aware of those books. Or no, he said he wasn't aware of France Fanon. And I said, well, some of us, we really don't know as much as we should know for various reasons. And I thought about that for today. That's why we're reading this. I mean, that's why I played the song from the group Lumpin'. I say it is because I don't think everything ever dies, like it shifts and all of that. But this is from the Lumpin' group. So the Black Panther Party had a band. Did y'all know that? I ain't know that. The Black Panther Party had, now all of the men that were a part, I don't want to say all of the men because I don't know. There may have been some women who sang in the group, but the original leaders, the original founders of the group were all men. So you got no, that's not it. They were all men, and so, but they made sure to make it clear that their first call to duty was to be a member of the party. That was their first call to duty. And secondarily, they would also perform. They would perform at high profile events. They would perform for the community. They would perform at rallies because it was part of the movement. And here are their names: Satura Ned, William Calhoun, Clark Bailey, Michael Torrance. To Satur, I think that's a man, Ned, William Calhoun, Clark Bailey, and Michael Torrance. And so they produced this one. This is really the only official song. They have a couple of other songs, but this is really only the official song that they have that was produced in 1970. And so when I was reading, I'm really trying to talk about the Black Panther. No, I'm really not even trying to talk about the Black Panther Party. They just came up in what I was thinking about for today. And so I started doing the research. And so when the caller says, there's so, I'm surprised that you all don't know. And I'm like, y'all, it's so much out there that we don't know. Some of it is by design, by the system of white inhumanity, yes. Some of it is by design because that's the way trauma works. My mother would not watch a movie where people were being harmed. I don't care if it was a documentary that was highlighting the atrocities that happened to Black folks. I don't care. She did not want to see that. She did not want to. I could not even read the book Sounder to her because she loved dogs. And so I tried to get every book about dogs I can. And every night I would read a chapter to her, and I would record myself reading to her because you could hear her in the background saying, "Oh," or she'll say, she'll be laughing. And then she'll say, "Niece," I just love this in the background of me reading to her. But I couldn't read Sounder. She said, "No, niece, that's the one that's, about the little black, no." Okay. So trauma affects us in that way. And so definitely not going to judge anybody about that. But there are some of us who are able to have these stories, but we don't. And why don't we? Some of us don't have them because you think that there is nobody that wants to listen. Some of our elders in particular have written the younger generations off. Sometimes, rightfully so, because sometimes we be, but there are some of us. I'm one of them. I want to sit at your feet. I want to know. I want to hear. I want to understand. I want to listen. There are many of us out there who long for the company. I was going to say comfort, but it is comfortable to the comfort and the company of our elders so that we can just sit and we don't even have to talk about movement work. I just like to be in the number, just watching y'all and listening to y'all and giggling, looking at your movements and listening. Yeah, I love that. And some of us just have checked out. We got plenty of knowledge and information and we've just checked out. And so those of us who don't have the knowledge, we are allowing this world to control our brains and our minds. And so everything has to be given to us so fast and in such a short little form that we don't have time to even digest it well. We don't even have time to process it. And so we're not learning because we're not trying to know. And I wanted to say that particularly because of these lyrics. These lyrics from the song Free Bobby, Set Bobby free. Bobby needs to be free. Oh, the name of the song is Free Bobby Now. So Bobby Seale had gone to jail because they accused him of killing killing a black man at that. Like, no, that ain't true. And so the purpose of the songs, they were revolutionary songs. So they would take songs that you had that had a familiar rhythm to you. Yeah, the rhythm was familiar to you, and they would change the words and make them revolutionary. And they would use them. Like, I really don't know a black movement, a non-white movement that doesn't include music as part of the struggle. Like, all of us. What's some of the songs we sing? I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. Now, some people say stayed on Jesus. In the movement space, we take a song that's familiar and we change the word. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. That's what we do. And so that's what they did. Now, if you look up the lyrics to this song, if you can find them, because it took me a long time, but I'm here. Look, I'm in for the long haul. If you can find the words, you can find them on an AI generated response, and it says something like this. It says, there are no rules that the oppressors are not bound to. There are no rules. Dog, I can't get it right. Well, basically, what they say, the way that they say it on AI is they make it sound like if you keep fighting your oppressors, sooner or later, they are bound to do what you are asking them to do. Just keep struggling, keep fighting, and you'll get there. That's how it sounds when you read what the response is in AI. But the words say that there are no rules that the oppressors give that we have to follow. We ain't got to follow them. We ain't got to do. They can't make. We ain't got to do nothing that they say we have to do. Now that's what the real words say. Those are two entirely different definitions and interpretations and verbatim language that's used in these songs. And so even if you look up something that's AI generated, I'm not even sure that people are listening, are paying attention. At the bottom, it says to us, it's probably some mistakes in here. That's what it says. There are probably some mistakes. And still, we are taking this all at face value and we are swallowing it whole and we are not thinking and we are operating on autopilot with our complicity in these systems. I hear somebody in here. It's probably one of my ancestors. Yeah, I think one of my ancestors in here with me. Who is that? Look, just have a seat. Join the conversation. That's fine with me. I ain't scared of y'all. I'm not scared of y'all at all. Thank you for your company. And so I wanted to talk about that also because what I know for a fact that I am experiencing and have experienced and talk to other people who have experienced is that this world, the way that it is structured and the way that it is moving, what it wants to continue to do is deny the complexity of what it means to be human, to deny what it means to have facets of your life, to have different aspects of your life, to have different aspects of your personality. We are not all just one thing. So the way this world is set up, you are either black or you're white. You're either male or you're female. You're either gay or you're straight. You're either cisgender or you're transgender. You're either Malcolm or you're Martin. Malcolm or Martin. And that takes away so much nuance that doesn't give us a clear picture of not only who we are, but what we stand for and how we move. You cannot put somebody in one box and say, this is who it is, and this is how they always gonna be. And I know everything I need to know about you. That's what people do with God. You put God in the box and say, oh, I know who God is. I know what God goes. I know who going to hell. I know who going to. You don't know that. Ain't no way you can know God in that way. And so there's Audre Lorde has she has a quote that says, we don't live single issue lives, right? And so we are not single issue people because we don't live single issue lives. We got a lot going on. We battling a lot of fronts. And that's what Kimberly Crenshaw says. You can't just say, oh, talk to me as Denise. You can't say, Denise, I just want to talk to you as being a woman. You can't do that because I'm not just a woman. I'm a Black woman, and there is a difference. And that's what we don't want to take in. We don't want to take in the differences. I played that sermon from Jeremiah Wright, who said difference does not mean deficient. It just means different. Caller, you're live on the air, KBF 88.3. Thanks for calling.
Good morning again. I'm sorry about calling back so many times to
You okay, King?
you're talking about some well deeper if you depends on what we have knowledge. We call it knowledge. Okay, there's a word called gnosis. And we think gnosis and knowledge maybe mean the same thing. Gnosis is a experience of listening to what comes to you. And we so caught up by you, we can't, sit down and take time to really listen. We vibration and frequencies is different. When you're vibrating, you're in a lower state. When you're in frequency, you're in a higher state. We get gotta get there. We need to learn how to listen to the divine that's really in us. We are not separated, but we program to think we separated from the all. We really think we are separated. How you can separate yourself? What are you gonna be at? But that's what religions and ideologies that control you, make you think. And most of us are raised in that setting. You ain't no good, and all the rest of the stuff. And there's plenty. I really enjoyed it.
I appreciate that, King. I do. Thank you. This caller in particular reminds me of how I used to feel as a public school teacher. I would go into the classroom and I would do everything that I could to meet the needs of my students. So I was all things to them that I could be. So I'm the counselor, I'm the teacher, I'm the confidant, I'm all of those things because I know that I have to teach your whole self. I know that. And so sometimes I would feel like I would get them all. I'm talking about they leave right on out of my classroom. I'm talking about they ready. And they will go to the next classroom and they'll get another teacher or they'll go home and get into another situation and undo everything I just did. And I got to start all over again tomorrow. And so sometimes I think that we don't first of all of us are not on the same page, and so we have to figure out where is our baseline, right? Like where can we start the conversation where we feel like everybody can get, like, let's just level it out so that everybody understands what's happening right now, and then let's build on that and keep building on that, and let's allow everyone in the room to help us build with their lived experiences and stories and stuff that they share. And so sometimes when Hotel calls, sometimes when Ezekiel calls, sometimes when this king calls, it's like sometimes I'll be like, I don't think we ready for it. I don't think we're ready. Because I know I be telling Hotel, listen, I need you to slow down, sir. And so I don't know what that baseline is, but I think that all of the information we receive, I believe that we should be open to taking in and then trust. Trust in the ping pong theory. I learned this when I was a hall director while I was in seminary. I had a supervisor that taught that whatever you need to say to a person, because I had, college students, I was responsible for them. I had a whole dorm I was responsible for. She said, whatever you need to say to them, it doesn't matter whether they can receive it or not. It doesn't matter whether they want to receive it or not. It doesn't matter you've got to put it in there. You've got to say it because they cannot unhear it. And once you put it in there, then we have to trust that, I don't know how many of you remember this. Remember when you used to watch TV and it was like a jackpot or something and the balls would be swirling around in the little box. And then at the appointed time, one of them would shoot up and that's the one that the white woman would pick up and she smiled and turn it around so that you can see the number. That's what the theory looks like, because every time we impart the knowledge, it's in there, and we're going to trust the universe that at the appointed time it's going to pop up and the person is going to be able to use it. But if it's not in there, can't nothing pop up. And so I'll encourage us to be open, because you never know how this information is going to be helpful to you at some season in your life. Call on the air. You're on the air, Community Voices. Thanks for calling. Call me back, caller. And then Lo says, we do not all have the same life experiences. No, we don't. And the beauty of Salbona says, I want to see the whole of who you are. I'm not asking you to check any part of yourself at the door. I want you to be free to be, if you like, let me just use myself. If you laugh loud, that's anytime I'm in the room and I laugh, and somebody, oh, Denise in the room. That's who I am, and I'm okay with it. And so if you I don't want her in the room because she laughed too loud. Okay, well then you're not living in the spirit of Salbona. Appreciate people for all the gifts that they have to offer you, because that is who they are, and they ought to be able to be comfortable in their own skin. So when we talk about this notion, this idea of this world putting us into one of two categories, and then we allow them to do the same thing to us, especially when it comes to our civil rights leaders like Malcolm and Martin. You're like, oh, because Malcolm is he's violent, he's a militant. And you say, well, Dr. King, he's nonviolent and he's peaceful, and that's how we're supposed to be. That's not true. I said to you the other day, Dr. King used nonviolent practices, but that doesn't mean that he was nonviolent as a person. And now when we talk about Malcolm, everybody wants to go around acting like, because you look at the pictures and you see the Black Panthers with the guns, you're like, oh, they militant. And I don't understand that, because the system of whiteness and the system of white inhumanity stands 10 toes down on the fact that they deserve to bear arms, and they deserve to hold up the Second Amendment, and they deserve to be able to have the right to protect their families and their children. And it's my right, it's my constitutional right. But then you see the black man with the guns, you're like, oh, nah, look at them, they militant. How does that work? It only works in your world of racism. That's the only place it works, because Malcolm X was not touting us going around shooting everybody like the white, especially white cops. Not just white cops. No, that's not what Malcolm X says. Malcolm X says, listen, I believe in self-determination, and I believe in self-defense. I believe that I have everything within me to get it done, to control my own life. And I'm not going to let you stop me from my own destiny. You don't get to define my destiny. You don't get to show me what you think it looks like. You don't get to use it in your schools and weaponize it against the children. No, I am in charge, and we have the right to be in charge. So if you want to jump, okay, but you need to know that I can jump too. Now, I don't even want to jump at you. As a matter of fact, I don't even want to talk to you. I'm not even thinking about you. I'm fighting me and my people. I'm not concerned about you. But since you want to be all up in my face, you need to know that if you hit me, I'm going to hit back. If you don't hit me, I ain't going to hit you. What we used to say when I was growing up, don't start none, there won't be none. That's what we used to say. Oh my goodness, I just had this ready for y'all. Okay. And so what I want us to do is listen for a moment to this clip that I have pulled up. It's I can't remember exactly how long it is. It's not very long. But I played a bit of it the other day, just the front of it, when we were talking about voting, when Bobby Seale was saying, if you want to be in power, then you've got to get these seats. And you got to be political if you want, because that's where the seat of power in this world. Oh, wait a minute, I didn't see this. Lo says Jesus had a violent episode. Yeah, yeah. And you know what? I'm so glad you said that, because this models just what I said about Malcolm and Martin. And so in this situation, when you bring up Jesus, I want to bring up Peter. So Jesus would be Martin Luther King Jr., and then Peter would be Malcolm, because in the story in the Bible where Jesus is about to be crucified and they come up to grab hold of him, his disciple who was with him was armed, and he was armed with a sword. And not only was he armed, he picked it up and sliced the man's ear off. I know you ain't coming for Jesus, sir. But we want to be like, no, see, Jesus wants us to turn the other cheek. Oh, I'm going to talk about that in just a minute too. Don't let me get ahead of myself. Thanks for that, Lo. You just reminded me of Jesus and Peter. And my daddy, thank you, universe. For years and years and years, my daddy could not find himself reflected in the Bible. He could pray like Peter and Paul. My daddy was a deacon my whole life. My daddy believed in God, but he could not find himself in the Bible. But one day I came home. I was a preacher then in the pulpit in Gulfport. I came home one day. My mama always left the room to give me and him time together alone. And I don't know what he said, but I said, Dad, just like Peter, if you ask me, you cuss all the time. He said, Peter used to cuss. I said, yes, Daddy, Peter would cuss. It's in the Bible. I had to pull it out and read it to him. And then, my daddy was always on. Before y'all even talk about my dad was always on. And so when I shared those stories from the Bible, and I didn't read them directly from the Bible, I embodied them and shared them with him after I read it from the text. And when I finished, he was so tickled. He was so tickled. And those were the two of the three scriptures I used to eulogize him. It is able to work the Bible in your favor if you know how to do it. And there are people who can help you with it. I am one of them. So I want you to listen to this clip from All Power to the People, Black Panthers at 50. The clip actually starts at 21, but I couldn't get it exactly on 21. So we're going to just ease on into it. So here we go. The question is, what are the misconceptions about the Black Panthers? That is the question that these people are answering in this documentary that was put together by Frederica Newton, who is the widow of Huey Newton, who is the co-founder with Bobby Seale as founder of the Black Panther Party. Here we go.
The prevalence tend to be that the Panthers were dangerous, that they were thugs, that they were radicals without a cause. And I think that, that these were all myths that were spread in order to defend them, in order to discredit them, in order to paint them in a negative light. I don't know criminals who feed people breakfast in the morning or escort seniors to get their checks cashed or get bus transportation for people in the community to ride buses to go to prison so we can keep the family unit together. I don't know any criminals that do those kind of things, but we were grouped in that category, and all we were trying to do is better the community. The Black Panther Party was anything but a racist organization. The Black Panther Party rejected a racist vision. Racism implies the ability to oppress other people because of the color of their skin or because of their religious belief. And the Black Panther Party was in no way in a position where they sought to do that. They had a deep and profound understanding of what racial oppression means in this country. But they had a class perspective where this oppression originated. And this struggle that we were all involved in wasn't in the end about race. It was about changing class dynamics of oppression.
And that was part of what made them such a threat, was that they were about uniting movements of oppressed people to build one united movement where Black power mattered and brown power mattered and yellow power mattered and red power mattered.
So a lot of people tried to say that we were the opposite of nonviolence. That wasn't the point at all. The right to peaceful protest is nonviolence, right? Peaceful protest, First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America. That's the law of the land, that you have a right to peacefully assemble and peacefully redress your grievances.
A lot of times when I was out traveling growing up, so you're from Boston, was it dangerous with the Black Panthers? I just couldn't think of anything further from the truth. Every Panther I've known has been committed to freedom in a really tangible way. To hear them addressed as terrorists or to hear them addressed as violent or anti-American, I feel like the Panthers did something that was more American than anything, dissent. And so I feel like in a really real way, the Panthers are the best Americans I know.
Okay, so let me tell you who those speakers were I want to tell you in order. So the first person you heard from was Billy Jennings, and he was a member of the Black Panther Party from 1968 to 1974. If you listen to the documentary, if you watch it, he was the one responsible for making sure that the Panthers got wherever they needed to go. Like, I think it was Bobby, no, it was Huey. He was in charge of making sure that Huey got wherever he needed to go. The next voice that you heard. Oh no, that wasn't that was Billy was the second verse, and then second voice. Then it was David Levinson, he's a physician, and then it was Kat Brooks, she's an actress and activist. Then it was Bobby Seale, the founder of the Black Panther Party, and then it was Shanaka Hodge. She's the one who wrote that poem that I let y'all listen to the other. I played for your listening. Let me say it like that. The other week. And so when we have these conversations where we pit people as being either or, we leave out so much of the story, and then we walk away with half of it, if that much. And we all know that once we begin to share stories, then the more we share, the more the more diluted it gets. And so if we already starting off with not even the whole story, and in many cases in America, we starting off with a lie, by the time it gets to who you want to have it, ain't no telling what they hear. Ain't no telling what's going on. So we have to take charge of our own stories and share them ourselves so that we can make sure that we preserve the dignity of the story. Because when you hear people talk about the Black Panther Party being militant terrorists, then you do not understand you have insulted the dignity of the organization. Caller, you're live on the air, KABF at 8.3. Thanks for calling Community Voices.
Yeah, it's, we have a lot of hidden knowledge coming out. That knowledge is so you can hear the real secrets and things that got removed from mainstream TV. Now, I'm going to just give you an example. Our history as original people was basically stripped, whitewashed all over the country. Everywhere you go, we was whitewashed. Now, there's a character in this Bible about a lady called Mary Magdalene. The first one that's supposed to have been saw the man resurrected, that when they told us. But you don't hear, the next thing you hear, that she was a prostitute. We have books out here right now, one of them, Book of John, Book of Mary Magdalene, Book of Jude. We have certain things that the man that is supposed to be following taught that they omitted. These are real facts. And so we get one point of view, but we don't look at what the others teaching that they omitted. That was the reason that they didn't put those books in the Bible, because they don't want you to have the knowledge of them, because they can't control you once you get onto it. And you get understand who you really is. They don't want you to know who you really is. There's billions of dollars spent keeping you away from yourself. People need to really look at things that they ain't been really taught the truth. You can't even acknowledge that you haven't been taught the truth, knowing that you got dealing with lies and murders and everything else. But you think that they're going to give you something to make you overcome them. That's not going to happen, people. Man.
Thank you, caller. So here's what I think. I think that there's so much truth in what you are saying about the information that we are being given that is not truthful. I mean, much of it is made up, and it's made up by design. Like, I agree with all of that. What I want to say is, okay, wait a minute. Here's Lo. How are you going to be militant when you are feeding the babies, or when providing free daycare, or providing protection and security for your neighborhood? Don't believe the hype. I remember that song. How are you going to be militant when you feed the babies? When you provide free daycare, provide protection and security for your neighborhood, don't believe the hype. So the Black Panther Party during its stay opened 11 medical facilities in this 11 medical facilities, two of which are still medical clinics, two of which are still alive today. And there are two states, Seattle and Portland. Let me make sure I'm right. There are two states that are still receiving services from two of those medical clinics that were started by the Black Panther Party. I didn't look this up, but I'm almost positive that the reason that we feed children at schools today is because of the Black Panther Party. Now, I do need to do more research on that. I will own that. But yeah, I'm pretty positive. And so yeah, so now these are the militants. But when the caller talks about the way that the Bible is being used, the way that religion is being used, the way that faith practices are being used, and that they're telling you the lie, they're designing what they share with you to in a way that fits and benefits the systems that they want us to uphold. So in a world that is sexist, you cannot allow the first preacher to be a woman if you're going to turn around and say women can't be in the pulpit. So in order for me to say women can't be in the pulpit, I got to construct a story that justifies me saying that. What I think is that the onus is not just on those of us who are preachers, because I tell people all the time, I have a job as a preacher. It is my job to deliver you the good news of the gospel. Now, in the United Methodist Church, we act like it's only one aspect of the good news, and that's just Christ has died, Christ is risen, Christ shall come again. But no, that's not just the good news. That's one, you can say that's good news, but it's also good news when Jesus says, listen, the first time Jesus picked up the Torah, the scroll, opened it up, he said, I know who I am. I have come to set the captives free. That's who I am. While y'all around here talking about don't wear pants and don't cuss and don't smoke no cigarettes and set the people free. How do you do that if you don't have the knowledge that you need? Now, all of what I just said is in the Bible. Women not being able to preach, the first woman being a preacher, the first preacher being a woman, Jesus saying set the captives free, all of that is in there. And so the Bible contradicts itself. And so we have access to it. All we have to do is think a little deeper about it. That's all. You ain't got to throw the Bible away, even though I have thrown some away. You don't have to throw it away. You don't have to get rid of Jesus. You just got to reimagine. I don't even want to say reimagine, because that makes it sound like I want you to come up with some stuff that ain't true. There is a right relationship that you can be in with whoever your God is that does not want to control you. That's not going to send you to hell. Just like you said, it's about the Black Panther Party. Now, how you going to call them militant and then say, and they feeding people, protecting the neighborhood? Okay. How you going to call God good and then say, I'm going to go to hell and burn forever and ever and always? That just doesn't make sense. And let's think about what happened in the garden. This is probably the second. Is this the second creation story? It might be the first creation story. The one where they get kicked out of the. This is in chapter 3 anyway, so it doesn't have to be it doesn't matter which one of the creation stories, because this is in chapter 3 when we got Adam and Eve. And so according to the Bible, why did Adam and Eve get kicked out, banned from the garden that was created just for them, that God put them in? Because there was other people out there, but they were put in the garden. And so they said, once they ate of the fruit, and it was not an apple, it does not even name the fruit. Where y'all got apple from, who knows? If it was any kind of fruit, it would have been a pomegranate. But after they ate of the fruit, now Eve eats of the fruit. Covenant not. I feel like I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I feel like I gotta at least set it up. The covenant not to eat of the fruit was with God and Adam. The covenant was not with Eve. Eve had not even been formed yet. So the onus not to eat of the fruit was on Adam. Now we call him Adam. It was Adonai, which means humanity. Now when the snake, the serpent, and then Eve have a conversation, the serpent like, girl, you can be free. All you gotta do is eat that. Girl, don't believe that. You can be free. Eat it. Now all the while that the serpent and Eve are having a conversation, the man who is responsible for the covenant is standing right there listening to the whole thing. Then Eve turns around and offers the fruit to him, and he eats it. Now, what now? I bet you I would say, listen here, honey, queen, mother of the earth, whatever he wanted to call her, listen. I look, if I had been Adam, I would have slapped it out of her hand. Girl, you see how good we got it up in here? You finna mess it up. He didn't say a mumbling word. Even now we got black preachers won't say a mumbling word. Don't want to talk about politics in the pulpit. What? Where is your Jesus if he's not in the middle of politics? And so we say, well, we blame everything on Eve. We got to, because how else are we going to uphold this system of sexism? And then when they ate of the apple, what does the Bible say? They got to go now, because if we leave them in here, they going to know that they are gods. So we got to get them out before they come into the knowledge of who they are. So it's not that the Bible doesn't set you free. It's not that the words aren't there to free you. It's not that you don't have the knowledge and the information. It's in your hands every time you pick it up. You're just not thinking deeply enough about it. Because what do? We depend on I'm going to churches now. There ain't even no Bible in the bag. It ain't no Bible in the pew. So that, what does that mean? To me, that I am symbolic. I will say that I'm a symbolic person. So when I walk into a church and they ain't got no Bibles in the pew, I was like, oh, already I feel like, oh, okay, so this is a pastor-centered church. So we're gonna just listen to whatever the pastor say. We don't even have a book to make sure he's using the right words. Like I told you about AI messing up the words of the song Free Bobby Now. We're not even checking to make sure he's saying the right thing, or she's saying, or they're saying according to the scripture. We're not following up. We're not taking notes. We're not doing anything. I'm talking about the churches that don't have no Bible. Like what? So all we gonna do is depend on him or her or them. What if they wrong? And how would you even know? Caller, you're live on. I'm sorry, caller. I'm trying to get to you. It says you. Caller, please call me back. I'm trying to get to you. I want to get to you. Here's low. Disobedience. It is better to obey than sacrifice. It is better to obey. That's in the Bible too. The only thing I'm saying is, I know that anything you want to find, you can find it in the Bible. That's why, to me, it is one of the most fascinating books that we have available to us, because it is an anthology. An anthology means it's a collection of stories from different voices with different experiences, all being pulled by the same spirit, regardless of what you call it. That's amazing to me. When we talk about 1 Corinthians 12, we talk about it's one spirit that gives all these gifts out. Just think about creation. You don't even have to think about humanity yet. Just think about creation. When you think about the trees. Oh, I'll never forget this story Miss Sarah told me one day in the car. We were on our way. I wanted her to go to that. I wanted to try the New Mexican restaurant. So I asked her, would she go with me? That must be Shackelford. And it's over there where you have it's a Walmart down there, a Sears, a JCPenney. I don't think it's Sears. Joanne. Okay, it's a Chinese place. It's over there in that area. I forgot the name of it, but it's a Mexican restaurant. Call, you're live on the air, KABF. Thanks for calling Community Voices.
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you again.
One quick thing I would like to say. I understand the Adam and Eve story, the manifold, actually something took right here. But if you right now, in the way you're teaching, trying to giving the people the true knowledge, you are just like the serpent in the garden. You are delivering people from, if they're listening and let it soak in, if you stand up for righteousness and against this here, the truth, you automatically become an evil person in this system. They don't want you telling no truth to really resurrect people from the dead. You have to be resurrected while you're walking around here from the dead before you talk about going anywhere else to be resurrected. You got to do this now while you walking around here to be resurrected from the dead. I mean, I ain't no teacher. It's just I'm not gonna get confused about it. But look at the good news of the set the captive free. Wasn't talking about dying for your sin. He was giving you knowledge. How are you gonna say you gonna reap what you sow, but I'm gonna die for your sins so you don't have to pay for it? Those two things don't work together. It just don't work. But if I can get you the knowledge, hey, you just like me. This is what Yahshua was talking about. You just like me. We the same. We came from the high life. We came from a design. So that's what he's trying to get you to see. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. I'm just laughing. I'm just laughing because people's like, "Oh, I'm calling in again. I want one more bite of the apple." That was just cute to me. Yeah. So I was thinking about. Okay. So he called. He said, "I'm like the serpent in the Bible." Okay. Now, normally, if you say like, I know some people. If you say, "Oh, you playing devil's advocate," they will get upset with you. I don't do nothing for the devil. I ain't. Okay. Okay. Calm down, calm down. Because of all that we have been conditioned to believe about what it means to say devil. And again, it's only because we have not been, we're not digging deep enough. One of the reasons that preachers, we don't dig deep enough is because of you, the parishioners. When I first became a pastor in the white church, at the Mississippi City. I started off at Greenville at a black church, but I only stayed there a year and I moved to Gulfport. Oh, but they they did it in both places, but it started at the first church. Yeah, the first church. They would not eat when we had a repast or something, whatever it was. They would not eat until I walked in the room and I got my plate first. Wait, what now? First of all, y'all know it's gonna take me a long time to come in because after I preach, what happens? It's a whole lot. I come down to the center of the aisle and I'm standing there to say bye because people come down. They want to come down and shake my hand. That's what they would do in the white church for real. So I gotta talk to everybody who wants to talk to me. So it may be 15, 20, 30 minutes before I get there, and ain't nobody gonna eat till I get there because I'm the pastor. Now that's what we're not gonna do. And then and I didn't have enough time to break the people at the black church, but I broke that spirit at the Mississippi City United Methodist Church in Gulfport. The other thing, okay, another thing they would do is I wanted to come around and help clean up. Pastor, we got it. You don't have to touch this. What you talking about? Why I can't touch it? So I'm too good to touch a dirty plate that I just made dirty because I just got through eating off of it? We're not doing that. So you all put us on a pedestal and it feels so good. We feel like we're powerful. We feel like we finally arrived somewhere, especially for black men. At least there's some place in this world where I got some kind of control. So yes, serve me. So the pastor has to be willing enough to say, I already got power. We all got power. We can share power. Like, that's how the Lord moves through all of us with power. Like, it's not all mine. And we just don't have those real conversations. And because we're not having real conversations, we're not talking about real stuff. And because we're not talking about real stuff, we ain't doing no real work. And because we ain't doing no real work, we ain't setting the captives free. I feel like it's a direct line. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Just encouraging us not to depend on Google searches, just the first thing that pops. Remember, it's all designed. This whole world is a design. It's a matrix. But you don't have to get lost in it because the truth will prevail. Because somebody's going to have to be out there telling me. I's one of them. Thank you so much for joining us for the workplace right here at KABF 88.3 FM, where we are the voice of the people. You have been listening to community. It's, it's me, the Reverend Doctor. You can call me Denise, about to sign off. And let me just confess, I have done something to this computer that I was not supposed to do. I hit something and I cannot click on the station identification. So I'm getting ready to play some music until until somebody comes to rescue me, because I done messed this whole thing up, y'all. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And so I'm just going to play some music until I am saved. Come rescue me. And I'll see y'all next time. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. I don't even have the thing plugged up. Come on, girl, get yourself together.